Hello YouTube, Brian here, and today I got a review of the Demko AD 20.5. This is a Knifecenter exclusive in D2 blade steel. And let's see, I got it from Knifecenter for, I believe, 150 bucks. Yep, 150 bucks, Knifecenter. So let's do some size comparisons. Here it is against a Spyderco Delica. Here it is against Ontario Rat number 2. And here it is against my favorite budget knife, the CJRB Mini Feldspar. So you can see it's pretty solidly a 3-inch knife. I can't lie, I think I got caught up in the hype with this knife. I thought I was gonna like it, and I do not like it. And looking back on it, I should have known that I wasn't gonna like it. But yeah, I think I got caught up in the hype of it all. Everyone seems to love it so much. Let's get the scale out here. So we are looking at 3.7 ounces. So it is over the magical ounce per inch metric that everyone seems to love. But as Metal Complex says, it is a sub 4 ounce object in your life. So it is by no means heavy. So what do I like about it? I like D2 blade steel is great. I like, you know, it's kind of a clip point with a flat saber grind, and it's got a nice sharpening choil. I really like the blade finish. It kind of has a really cool stonewash finish. I think stonewash finishes hold up really well to cutting marks and stuff. And also for D2, I live in a really dry environment, so I don't really need to worry about patining or rust that much, but stonewash blades, I think, patina nicely. Yeah, I like the shape. Clip points aren't my favorite, but it's broad, and it's very drop pointy. So the blade shape is great. You know, aside from that, the scales are fine. So my main issues with the knife are, you know, as Erica from Not Your Average EDC is fond of saying, just give me a knife that has, you know, basically no ergos, like a square. You know, these are some of my favorite knives, and they're just, you know, I get to decide where I want to put my hand. So that's the first thing that I should have known on this knife that I would not be that into, is, you know, this definitely puts your hand right there or right there. There is not a whole lot of, I mean, you can choke up on it, but, you know, it is very ergonomic, and if that ergonomics doesn't quite match up with your preference, then you're kind of screwed. And so yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. It's thin in this direction, but it's not so thin in this direction either, which again is fine. Not all knives need to be super thin in that direction. The lock, of course, that's why, like, everyone loves this knife. So I thought it was going to be better than it is. So let me see here. Let me see if I can explain what's going on. So here's a Benchmade, obviously. And let's see, well, here's just a detent ball knife, right? Thumb stud detent ball. So you can see that when you break the detent, the knife basically shoots out. Like, I'm trying to fail this, and it doesn't really want to fail. And if I put any force behind it at all, then it shoots out. Take another knife, the Monterey Bay Knives 1.5 EZC 1.5. Probably is the best action flipper that I have in my collection. And this thing, like, I am trying to fail this knife, and it still fires out like crazy. And if you don't try to fail it, then it really shoots out. So that is like a good action, I would say. The knife deploys reliably, easily. You know, the downside of most detemp ball knives is that you have to put your finger in the cutting path in order to close the knife, which I don't like. My first ever real knife that I, bought and spent some money on was Benchmade. And one of the reasons I did that was the axis lock, because I didn't have to put my finger in the cutting path. And the Demko has that also. You do not need to put your finger in the cutting path. So that is a really great feature. The problem is, like with these sliding bar locks, that they don't have a true detent. So this Benchmade, while I love the knife, it's probably the worst action of all my Benchmades. So when you go to open it, it opens, but it doesn't snap open. Even if I push really, really hard, like I'm pushing basically as hard as I can, it doesn't snap open that well. And it's very easy to fail. You basically, it wants to fail. And you have to overcome that failure. So if we call this a 10 out of 10 for, sucky to open versus awesome to open, this would be like a 9 or a 10. Maybe there's a better knife out there, so I'll call it a 9. I would put this at like a 6, a 5 or a 6 for manipulation. I would put this guy at like a 2 or a 3. This guy really wants to fail. This thing does not want to open, and you have to put a lot of force behind it. And I don't know the exact mechanism in there, but guessing it has to overcome a ramp. I haven't taken this guy apart. I've taken lots of these guys apart. So these guys have to, there's no detent of any kind. The sliding bar lock has to overcome a ramp cut into this ramp, actually right here. That ramp right there. And so if that ramp, the geometry of that ramp really, matters. Here's a SOG. Let's see if Terminus XR that I got for really cheap. And the action on this is freaking terrible, right? And I actually took the knife apart, and it had a burr on that ramp. And I had to take a Dremel to it to get it to even open at all. It wouldn't open at all. Yeah, so this would be like when I got it, it was a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10. And now it's like a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 for enjoyable to open. And I would say this guy is, not a whole lot better. A little better. Maybe a 2 or a 3. Maybe a 3. Maybe a 2 is a little, harsh. So it is a joy to close the knife. Unfortunately for me, that joy is not, does not overcome the displeasure of having to open the knife and the way that I'm locked into it. So, that's just my thoughts on it. You are free to keep purchasing the knife to your heart's content. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do. I'm just giving you my opinions. I wish someone had, really stated that, because from everyone's reviews, it's, it's like, oh, the thing snaps open, fires open with, the greatest of ease and closes with the greatest of ease, and you can just go like this all day long, and it's just the best thing ever. And, yeah, that's not my experience. So, also the pocket clip is not very good. It rides really high, and it's not a particularly enjoyable experience. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the knife. The knife is good. I'm glad that I tried it. I don't think it'll be staying in my collection. I think I'll move it along at some point here. And I thought maybe it could be like a hard use knife, quote-unquote hard use knife. Kind of a fill-in for a fixed blade that I could do yard work and baton with and stuff. But I think I'll just stick with my fixed blade, my preferred fixed blade for that. I can smash on it and, you know, beat the crap out of it, and I don't have to worry about opening it. Just pull it out of its sheath. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Hope you found it helpful or at least entertaining, and I'll catch you later.